We're going to kind of shift gears now and talk about insert, update, and delete statements. So this is obviously a pretty complex topic to try to cover every piece of it, so we're going to kind of just hit the highlights and we'll weave a little bit more detail into it, talking about how we can use subqueries as part of our insert process. So I've started out kind of with the select statement. So the select all from the customers table brings back these results. So if we wanted to insert a new customer into the customers table, we would use an insert statement. So insert into the name of the table, so customers. And what we need to define are the fields or columns that we want to actually insert into. So for me, I want to insert into name style, title, first name, middle name, last name, suffix, company name, salesperson, email address, phone, password hash, password salt. There's a row GUID. I'll cruise over here. Oh, and date modified. So those are the fields that I'm actually going to insert into within the database table. Now the values that I want to insert, I have to actually match them up item per item. So I'll start out with a name style of 0, which is what most of these are in the table. They're all integers. So I'll do Mr. Kevin, and you'll notice that I'm using single quotes for my string values, and that's important because that's how you articulate or identify string values in SQL Server as a single quote. Double quotes are actually alias types, so you can actually use them to say that I'm referencing this field name, and you can have field names with spaces and things of that nature. So the double quote is used for showing logic groupings of maybe a column that has a space in it or something like that, where the single quote is used for a string. So let's see, company name. I actually work for a company, so we'll say Learn21. And then email address. Put my UC email in there. Oh, forgot the salesperson. So my salesperson will be myself. An email address, and then my phone will be 513-555-1234. And then for a password hash, I don't actually have a hashing algorithm, so I'll just put in password, and my salt value will be pass. And then I'm going to do new GUID, or actually it's just GUID for a new GUID. And then the modified date will be get date. Should be new GUID. For the GUID, it's actually new ID. Alright, so then I'm just going to select just this code itself, so that way it'll only run. And hit F5 or hit execute here. And it'll say one row is affected, which means that we've now inserted a row. So I'm going to modify the select all from saleslt.customer to say where last name equals Gantos. And we'll run that select statement. And there's the new row that I just inserted. Let's say we need to make a couple of changes to this. We'll say update now, and it'll be saleslt.customer, and we're going to set the company name equal to the University of Cincinnati, where the last name is Gantos. So basically you have three parts here. You have the table to be updated, the value or values that you want to update. We can actually make this a comma list. And we can do other things like we can update the phone to be 513-222-1212. So we're updating multiple fields, and then the last part is our conditional. So without the conditional where statement, we would end up updating all of the company name and phone number fields in the entire table, where with the where clause, we're isolating it down to just the people with the last name of Gantos. We could even be more specific with that if we wanted, and instead of using it by name, we could say where customer ID equals the value that we just returned from our select statement. So we'll run that now and hit execute. So now one row is affected, so we updated one row, and if we run this again, we'll see that the company name has changed along with the phone number. Now delete statements are very much in the same vein, so delete from saleslt.customer. If you were to run this in its entirety, it would wipe out the entire table. But we'll again do a conditional, and we'll say where last name equals Gantos. So then we run that. One row again has been affected. We'll play back that select statement, and now the row is gone. So going through all of these pieces, they're all fairly straightforward. Select, insert, and update and delete. They all kind of follow a basic pattern of identifying values that you want to insert, utilizing things like where clauses to filter and focus what you're executing against, because you're working within that entire table, so you want to make sure that you're targeting specific rows typically when you're doing things like updates and deletes. You don't want to forget those where clauses, otherwise you'll end up deleting everything or updating everything, and sometimes that's not what you intend. So those are very important pieces. Inserts we'll be talking about more later, about the ability to actually do subselects and inserts as a single command and creating even new tables.